Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It On. We have some time to kill, and demons, but time first. Demons later. And people to talk to. Commander, I'm glad to report that the reorganization of our army is practically complete. The counterattack and the capture of Crusade Citadel will serve as a vivid demonstration of our increased military strength. But before we set out, I strongly advise that our officers are informed of the tactical approach we're going to follow in the battlefield from now on. Apart from good soldiers and generals, an army needs a doctrine that states how it intends to win future battles. Personally, I would support a cautious, balanced tactic of attrition based on a defensive style of warfare. I don't think we would win a battle of attrition against the demons. Something tells me they have a lot more sustainability in the world wound than we do. A decisive cavalry charge is the best tactic I know. The demons are bloodthirsty, but they're not too eager to die for their cause. If we were to daze them with a powerful strike and shake their confidence, they would choose running for their lives over a selfless stand. And as a cavalier, I highly appreciate this suggestion. We cannot change the fact that our warriors lack the demons' individual might, but our discipline and chain of command are superior. The best way to use it is to maintain a tight formation. Move the foot soldiers up front, withstand the enemy's blow, and perform a quick and crushing counterattack. That is how the Tautan Phalanx won their battles. That is how we will prevail as well. No matter what bright ideas the general has, no matter what strategies they may devise in advance, in battle a soldier must know how to react. If I were in charge, I'd give my officers freedom to act on their own initiative, instead of hammering particular tactics into their heads. Also, probably the best suggestion out of the lot. I want to know more about Crusade stronghold. Storm's Peak is a mountain fortress built by the demon's minions. Crusade chose the location of his base of operations wisely. Not only is it well protected, it provides convenient attack routes that threaten all the neighboring territories, including Drezen. They breed the most vicious battle beasts in its depths. The dungeons are always filled with captives, and the salaries are so vast they could feed a demon army of practically any size for years. Now why can't we use multiple tactics at once? Train the troops to follow a new tactic, we must drill it into their heads, make them remember it better than their own names. If we try to teach our soldiers conflicting tactics, dissonance will inevitably ensue in the heat of battle. Alas, it is wiser to sacrifice a diversity of options in favor of uniformity of action. Highly disagree. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Everyone looks at you expectantly. Asila, isn't it rash to rely on a cavalry charge? It's risky, but there are no cowards in our ranks, are there? Fighting demons is a dangerous business in general. But in my experience, only a swift and daring cavalry attack can strike real fear into the heart of an enemy as reckless as demons. An army of knights betting everything on a cavalry strike. Yeah, the demons will be amazed at how varied and surprising our tactics are. Regil, how does the Tautan Phalanx fight? First, a tight infantry formation advances forward. It secures a foothold that threatens the enemy's position and awaits the inevitable attack. Upon meeting the first onslaught with a shield wall, the footmen dampen the momentum of the breakthrough. Then, at the officer's command, launch their counteroffensive. After a short charge that tramples everything that stands in their way, a gaping breach appears in the enemy's ranks, and the offensive turns into a rout. I'm not sure if we can make full use of the practices of the Tautan military. Although the Phalanx certainly shows outstanding results, Tautan's infantry trains in a fundamentally different way than our own. I'm afraid that blindly copying another nation's combat style won't yield us the benefits we seek. Like Greybor, is it wise to allow officers to make their own decisions? This acquaintance of mine, my colleague, used to serve as a corporal in the Multhuni army. At some point, they went out on a raid against Nirmathi guerrilla warriors. They ran into an ambush, got shot to hell, and chased the enemy deep into the woods. Is it obvious yet that they were being baited? It was obvious to my acquaintance too. So he tells his commanding officer, things are looking ugly, we've got to turn back. But the officer dug his heels in. Our orders were clear. Upon contact with a lightly armed opponent, we're to give chase and dispatch them. Upon contact with a superior force, we're to contain it by forcing a fight and send for reinforcements. He recited that order to me word for word. He won't forget it till the day he dies. And so the generals in the capital had decided, you see, since the enemy had split their forces, we need to move in with large units and crush the weak bands one by one. Looks solid on paper, When you're out in the woods in the middle of the night, not so much. Anyway, when they did get ambushed by an enemy force, and contained it by forcing a fight, only my acquaintance and his squad made it out alive. He put 2 and 2 together and figured that no reinforcements were going to make it in time, so he tried to break through. They ran through the woods for 6 days, with the enemy hot on their heels, but they survived. My acquaintance learned a lot from that battle, so he deserted immediately afterward to become an assassin. A much safer craft. The point is, no matter what we come up with, you never know how it's going to play out in an actual battle. And only those who are on the ground fighting can truly know the best thing to do. So I trust your officers. I can't imagine your army is commanded by idiots, and give them free rein. Initiative is a dangerous weapon. There are situations where it can be useful, but in a large-scale battle, any display of free thinking, any leeway in interpreting orders, may disorganize the army and throw it into chaos. We should not be destroying the discipline of our troops with our own hands. Like Captain Odin, he won battles by staying on the defensive. History knows of virtually no prominent generals who disregarded defensive combat doctrine. There are times when letting the enemy break their teeth upon your army's formations is more advantageous than going on the offensive yourself. Perseverance oftentimes best valor. If I think against the demons, being offensive is the better play, because they tend to be a little bit more disorganized than our forces. So if you get the initiative, get the momentum. If you wait for a horde of demons to swarm your forces, you're not going to come out on top. They've got flying enemies, they've got like Lebrazus that are massive, and it's just going to, charge through your formation. Sealess Nords. You can't win a war by sitting on your hands, especially against an innumerable force of demons who keep pouring out of the abyss. Exactly. We must strive for victory, live for it. That's the only way we'll put an end to them. Everything is clear to me now. The advisors nod respectfully in response to your words. So again, I think Greyboar's advice is the best, but as a glory-seeking cavalier, I'm going to choose Sila's. Oh, cool, and they all get the charge ability. Not really useful for our range units as they tend to go first anyway. It might be useful for the cavalry, but I usually just have them hunker down, so. Yeah, definitely 4. I prefer to win battles with an aggressive cavalry charge. Wonderful. We'll trample this demonic filth into the dirt before they even know where we hit them from or where to run. I believe the military council has reached a decision on all the necessary reforms. All that's left is to put our army to the test, the siege of Storm's Peak. This battle will show us the worth of all the work we've done. Captain Odin's voice quivers nervously on these last words, and for an instant, his mask of composure cracks. Seeing you take notice, he shoots you a look of warning that says, "Not now." Okay, I don't think we can march our army quite yet. Let's go talk to Captain Odin. So he gave us that look. I think he's over here. Captain Odin gives you a polite nod. What can I do for you, Commander? You seemed nervous when we were discussing the attack on Storm's Peak. What's the matter? Odin's face looks both fragile and rigid, as if it were made of glass. I was imagining the sacrifices this bloody assault will exact. Thinking of the soldiers who would never go back to their homes. Remember the day that changed me forever. A day at the end of autumn, when my warriors charged into the fire became ashes in memory. The day for which I was named a hero, and whose guilt will haunt me until the day I die. Tell me about that day. I can describe in great detail. I return there every night as I fall asleep. Remember how it sounded as this outpost was consumed by flames. Remember counting my soldiers after every attack, every bleeding wound of a gap that had opened in our ranks. How people threw themselves into the boiling river to escape the burning air. And naturally, I remember how it felt to be the last. Be the only one left. But I won't recount the specifics to you. This is my nightmare, and burning my leader with it would be treasonous. Why are you tormented by guilt? I could have done more. I could have saved at least someone. It's true. I didn't hide behind my comrades' backs. The wounds I took in that battle nearly killed me. But still, I could have done more. What it comes down to is that it's just not fair that I survived, and everyone who trusted me with their lives died. If there is justice in this world, my survival affronts it. Why did you stay in the army after that? Odin smirks bitterly. Because they called me a hero. I was so ashamed at that moment. I knew that they were the heroes, the ones who would never leave the outpost. Their heroism was my undeserved glory. It was thrust onto my shoulders with all the weight of an order. I swore that I would carry my burden until I became worthy of my brothers and sisters in arms. I am guilty of receiving the glory that their valor made rightfully theirs. Well, thank you for telling me this. I'm a soldier. Soldiers aren't made for easy lives. Something subtle has changed in his expression, as some unseen visor has been slid back over his face, marking the end of that moment of painful sincerity that arose between you.
I know the way.
Alright, so I don't think that I can move my army from the Crusade management, but we'll see. Now I don't even know where Storm's Peak is at. I don't think. It might be the one to the west. I've already read that before. Alright, so we're going to exit Drezen. Again, I don't think that our army can move yet. But I want to make sure before I rest. Now we're operating with limited time to see if we can take Storm's Peak. I'm assuming that as soon as my 3 Crusaders show up, we have to march on the Midnight Fane. It says this is a lair. Where is... It doesn't give me the name of these forts, so I don't know where Storm's Peak would be at. Well, either way, we can't do anything yet anyway. So we'll rest up and then move our army.
Follow my...
A gnome used to live on the street with us. He was gray and pale, just like you. He would get in tavern brawls all the time. To live longer, he said. But he got killed in one of those fights.
Only cowards run from death. You can't escape it, no matter what. It's better to face it than let it stab you in the back.
There's some sense in that.
As it should be.
But there's also an argument to be made for the gnomes who are trying to live life to the fullest and not perish through the bleaching. All right, fort reclaimed. Alright, so we need to go down this way. A little back and forth here. I like to finish one of the 2 items I currently have in my inventory. I have the Retriever's shirt and Rovagug's axe that I don't think I ever completed. Yeah. So ideally we finish those at least before we leave.
That is not far.
Of course. I have 5 days for this. I would like to see that play out as well before we march on the Midnight Fane. So it shows enemy armies approaching, but I can't move my armies from here. Oh, I can! I said to select them. This is not selectable up here. Never mind. But you learn something new every day. It made no sense to me why you couldn't maneuver your armies from the Crusade management menu. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to skip her turn. It's fine. Should have used Smite first. Played that extremely poorly. Luckily, we're pretty strong right now. Alright, that's a pretty tough looking army. Not a fan. How do I want to handle this? So the Baylor is probably immune to fire, right? Or at least resistant to it. So let's do this. Take care of the Baylors. Start working on this guy. Soften up the Uliadru. Oh, that's it? They're not letting me march on this fort? I'm gonna try. If we have the time. Also want to check one more thing. I need to take another closer look at my quest log before we waste too much time. Alright, so we have 5 days for that one. We're working on this one. Working on that one as well. Working on that, working on this. I thought I completed this. I think I have been... Actually, I think I have a page for him. So let's go give that to him as well. I only have 1 bar of cold iron. I might have everything else that I need. 1 bar, 2 vials of demon blood sight. Guess I don't have all that stuff.
I'll go ahead.
Well, I do think I have some elven notes for him, so let's go give those to the storyteller real fast, and then we'll go back to skipping days. I have a weird filler episode, but I'm hoping that at the end of it, we'll be ready to march on the Midnight Fane, and then the next one we'll do that. I hate filler episodes.
I know the way.
I've stopped watching many a TV show because of filler episodes. I'm wondering what all these elven notes are going to culminate into. Or maybe just giving us backstory on him since he was a part of Kingmaker as well. He seems pretty tied into what's going on with this campaign. He worked for Nocticula. You know,
As it should be.
he's been around. So I think he's going to play a more important role than he did in Kingmaker. Not that he was insignificant in Kingmaker, because he did allow us to infiltrate... I want to upgrade that one. Probably rebuild stuff in these forts, right? Ones that I recaptured. This one? There was one down here somewhere. I think it was this one. Yeah. I'll skip a day. See about our army going a little further. Nope, still can't. Alright, I guess we'll just have a march up towards Drezen. Kind of keep them in the center so they can respond to any threats, because we can't march any further in any direction. A report. Storm's Peak, the stronghold of the fierce Cremzida, has been captured and destroyed to the ground. Mighty Baelor and his army will no longer be able to threaten Drezen from this location. Cremzida opted to avoid a fight, leaving the citadel in the last moments of the battle. There's no doubt that he will attempt to avenge such an affront. Doesn't sound very Baelor-y of him. Just leaving the fight. Why can't I do these? Don't I have the... They offer the same stat. Alright, screw it. We'll go ahead and grab this since we've got nothing else going on. Alright, I would like... Wait, 2 more days if I can. Alright, and the commander we trust. Swindlers have started a rumor that the commander is a saint, The gullible soldiers are now buying their charms that allegedly contain his hair, cut nails, and other holy relics. I wonder if that's the one-eyed devil. Alright, let's do this. Manufacture charms bearing the commander's image and Crusade-themed merchandise. Oh, Woljif is behind it. I was thinking maybe Darren was. Woljif will arrange the manufacturing of Crusader merchandise and goods at the commander's image. Soldiers and common Mendebians alike will be eager to buy all of it, from lucky charms to travel mugs. Alright, so we got the Azadas. Oh wait, we should be moving our armies as well. Not that we really need to, but... there's no harm in it. Nice. Flipped a little bit. My army didn't stop on top of this army. It's a little weird. Alright, buy a cloak, support the Crusade. The commander of the Crusade are popular throughout Avestan. This could be an opportunity to make a profit by selling Crusader merchandise. Sure. Alright, so one more day. Alright, so a letter about Kalesa. Of Kalesa's last wish was that her friends and Kionin learned of her story. The commander is the only one who can recount its every detail. Kalesa's friends will be thankful to hear the truth of her fate. 50 marksmen will be recruited at the commander's headquarters. That is no small amount of marksmen. Then we can finally do... not that one. Where's the one we started already? Takes 5 days. Alright, so we're not going to waste that much time, sadly. I'm being extremely cautious because I have all these timed quests. I don't want to miss anything. But with the Azada, we're all moving out 3 weeks early. That's what future playthroughs are for. If I miss anything now, then... well, we'll deal with it in a future playthrough. I never look surprised. Commander, what's your Succubus pal done this time? What are you talking about? You don't know either, huh? Weird. Who gave the order then? Arueshalae is locked up in Drezen's dungeon. I tried to find out who gave the order to jail her and who carried it out, but I came up empty-handed. What's the story there then? If you ask me, it's one of two things. Either it was you who secretly ordered her arrest, or it was Arueshalae herself. She just felt like locking herself up in a cell. Which one seems more likely to you? I'll definitely talk to her. Oh, let's do this. Have you noticed anything odd about her recently? I suppose I have. She's been even more secretive than usual. Before, my people would spy her every now and then, as she observed the ordinary folk going about their business. The lady she's been spending most of her time holed up somewhere in the outskirts of the city, away from people. Oh, and one more thing. Believe it or not, one of my spies swears he's heard her crying out there on her own. I'll definitely talk to her. All we know is that we know nothing at all. Talking to her might be a good idea. I'm rooting for her redemption just like you, but who can tell what's going on inside the head of a demon who's trying to turn good? Alright, I'm a little afraid. Well, I can go straight to the dungeon. So I shouldn't accidentally trigger the Free Crusaders. At least that's my hope. The door's not even locked. Arueshalae stands in the middle of the room, immersed in painful contemplation. Seeing you approach, she recoils in fright. No, don't come any closer. Please don't. Why are you here? This is where I belong. You shouldn't be alone with me. Please leave, I'm begging you. It's dangerous. I'm dangerous. The Succubus raises her ruby eyes to you. You notice streaks of tears on her face. When I joined your party, I thought to myself, this is it. I'm a Crusader now. I might actually be able to rid myself of my demon nature. But it's so hard. The Abyss lives within me. I let my guard down for a moment, and there it was, waiting to remind me of what I truly am. I didn't hurt anyone, but I just can't talk about it. It's too shameful. Please, just leave me here in this cell. Let these walls be my cloister. And don't talk to me, unless absolutely necessary. I'll still accompany you on your travels, but I'll curb the demon inside me. I should keep my distance from you. What's going on with you? Please talk to me. I know it's not easy for you, but I can help if you let me. You really do want to help me. You want to save a beast of the Abyss who doesn't deserve to be near someone like you. The Succubus sighs. Fine. I'll tell you why I'm here, and after I do, I'll understand if you don't ever want to see me again. You've been so kind to me. You've treated me like I already deserved your kindness. Like I wasn't a demon, but a mortal. And Arueshalae's cheeks blush. I'm starting to feel that you're becoming very important to me. I want to be near you, talk to you, touch you. Is that such a bad thing? It's bad. It's very, very bad. I'm a demon, remember? I taint everything I touch. The most terrible weapon of any succubus is her caress, which leeches life from the one who trusted her. I still possess this weapon, whether I like it or not. I'm like a venomous snail? Snake? Toad? I don't remember. Like an animal that can't help but sting, even when it doesn't want to. Ah yes, the threatening, stinging snail. In my previous life, I had many lovers. Some are my tormentors, who degraded and broke me, to the point where I barely survived. And for others, I was their tormentor. I devoured, degraded, and drained their souls dry. Every single day, I struggled to suppress this desire. It's an unholy hunger inside me. When you're near, with a sob, Arueshalae wipes away her tears. Forgive me. Please, please forgive me. I don't want to do that, or want that. Every time I see you, my desires overwhelm me. Frightening demonic desires. I can't curb them. As I look at you, I can't stop imagining us. You and I, together. Arueshalae hides her blushing face in her hands. I'm trying to romance her without it being just a fling. Can you control your own abilities? Can you kiss someone without leeching their life force? Not even if you try really hard. I can't control myself. Sometimes one look at an attractive mortal is enough to send me mad with a desire to pounce on them and suck them dry. Alright. It takes all my son of a gun, man. It takes all my strength just to turn away and leave. What happened if I... The demon... in this dialogue. The demon runs her finger over her lips and finishes in a barely audible voice. I haven't done it in so long. I don't have the strength to fight it. Well, why don't you share your desires with me? Maybe we could satisfy some of them without harming anyone. No. No, no, no. Don't tell me that. My mind is like a tinderbox right now. You say things like that, my control could snap. I'd pounce on you like a ravenous larva on meat. Arueshalae pauses and takes a couple of deep breaths. I ask you, no. I beg you, in the name of Desna, please don't ever say anything like that to me again. Mortals can flirt with each other without harming anyone, but you're flirting with the Abyss. One playful comment could instantly wipe out all my years of effort, turn me back into a monster. I can try to relate to her. You know, I'm not without sin either. Really, I can't picture it. Arueshalae peers timidly into your eyes. Would you care to tell me? To share with me? I've taken things that didn't belong to me. Yep, we've done that. Demons see the property of others as spoils free for the claiming. I've never been greedy, so it's rather easy for me to teach myself not to take anything that belongs to others. It was much harder to understand why I shouldn't do it. Thank you for sharing with me. Turns out that even you are not entirely free from evil. A little bit more chaotic. A wise priest once said, if a sinner at least realizes that he has sinned, this means he still retains a chance for redemption. Mortals often do bad things, even without demons tempting them to do so. But many mortals also realize when they are doing something bad. They can repent, they try to make things right. That's the main thing I'm trying to learn from you mortals. You don't have to hide away from me in this cell. Please, come out of there. But these desires, they're tearing me apart. What hope do I have of controlling them with you so near? You've told me yourself, now your desires are horrible. Talking, sharing thoughts and feelings. Would that be so bad? Would it? Arueshalae ponders that for a while, then nods to herself. You're right. Some of these desires are so light, so joyful, so mortal. Right after these innocent dreams, the others come. Cruel, violent, demonic ones. And I don't know how to separate them. Desires are not deeds. We don't send people to prison for their thoughts. You wouldn't say that if you knew what I was thinking. You have no inkling of what my desires are. If only you could see what I'm imagining right now. For thoughts like these, I deserve more than a prison cell. I deserve the gallows. You want to learn to live like a mortal, and instead of hiding, you need to learn how to live among the people you care about. What if I slip up? Should I learn how to not be a monster? Anyone close to me is in danger. There's no use in trying to hide from your nature. You must overcome it. Don't worry. I'll be with you. I'll help you. You aren't scared of me at all. Well, I've killed a ton of succubi, so no, I'm not concerned. You know what a lying monster I am, but you still trust me. Why? What is it you see in me that I fail to see in myself? She wrings her hands and falls silent for a long time. When she starts speaking again, her voice seems firmer, as if she has found some source of inner strength. Thank you for believing in me. It means I should believe in myself too. I won't hide in this cell anymore. You say I won't slip up. That means I won't. Arueshalae smiles at you timidly. I will watch you until I learn to look at the world the way mortals do, without evil and violence in my heart. I'll learn to look at the way you deserve. Oh, I misread that. I'll learn to look at you the way you deserve.
No mistakes.
Arueshalae gives you a cautious glance. You better not come any closer. The filthy thoughts are still swarming in my mind. Don't you feel lonely in here? I do. I must stay here until I have firm control over my desires. Otherwise, something horrible might happen. Alright, well, we broke Arueshalae out of horny jail. I'm going to call the episode here, and the next one we will meet with our free Crusaders and march on the Midnight Fane. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.